Hi, all, and thank you for joining us today for the Voices of Logistics Planet podcast, where that brings you closer to the people who keep the world moving, and it means the people from logistics. And today we're really thrilled to have a really fascinating guest. It's Anthony Sundstrom. So Anthony has a rich background in sales and logistics. He's also a blogger, podcaster. And he even started his own freight forwarding business, as it's called in our part of the world, or freight brokerage business as it's called in USA. And today we'll have a great time, talk with them about the business opportunities and about freight forwarding. So Anthony, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, Thomas. Fantastic to be here, and hopefully, I get to answer all the questions that you have for me.
I have no doubts, so I have your big experience, so you're really uh, interesting guy to interview. So let's start. Yeah. So I think many of those who are listening to our podcast today are either in freight forwarding business, various logistics positions, and I have no doubts that many are maybe thinking about starting freight forwarding business. So I think Anthony is the one who could help you with that. So Anthony, first question. So how is your life of the fresh, I would say, logistics or freight forwarding entrepreneur? How are you doing?
I'm pretty excited. I'm not satisfied, but I'm happy. So, we're at the moment where we started about 4.5 months ago, and after a couple of weeks, we've had solid traction, and we have already daily shipments in Finland and in Europe.
Nice. So I deal with Finland a little bit, not too much, but a little bit, and I know that the consumers there and of course shippers are very conservative. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong here, but and maybe that's why there aren't so many freight forwarding businesses, or maybe am I wrong in this part of the world? Yeah, maybe you can correct me here.
So I think that the freight forwarding market is run by the big boys and girls, mostly in Finland, and that's probably because there's not so much volume than in rest of the Europe, and it's not so traditional here that you start doing this like you start off as a man in a laptop and build it from upwards there. So the more traditional way to get into logistics and moving freight is buying your own trucks and starting it from there.
Yeah. And you mentioned 4.5 months. And you said that it's doing great, but you're not completely satisfied. So is scaling a freight forwarding business a piece of cake, or it's a more harder part here?
Uh, well, if I look at my numbers, we're going to be like close to 200 euros revenue for this year if we don't do any more sales. Uh, my goal is, of course, a million, and a smart goal is probably around 480K per year. So is scaling hard? Yeah, totally. It's one of the biggest challenges I have. So I think that because I've worked before in TNT, FedEx, Post Nord, then I went to ST1, Shell, and I've been really active in social media. I've been trying to bring value to the community. So I think that's helped me get the first customers, like, because you need to know the people that you give your freight. So it's really hard to scale.
Yeah, it's and which part is more harder, because when you're doing brokerage, you always have this customers part, shippers part, and you always have trucking companies part, which to whom you are selling. So is it on both sides some challenges, or maybe more on the shipper side?
So the hardest part is really getting new customers. So we get a lot of quotes, and we just, let's say, out of 10 quotes a day, we win one to three. It's about 10% the winning percentage. but we have now over 50 customers, and like 70% of them have ordered again. So we like we're trying to be the company that responds to an ad hoc situation, or you need something taken from A to B with a control tower method. So somebody's always watching the shipment and guarantees that it goes to place A, yeah, to B as agreed. So after that, the plan is now to get a lot of ad hoc deliveries, and then from there build like steady lanes, so it doesn't need to be ad hoc or reactive. With the with the trucking side, I was so fortunate to meet and get to know a lot of truckers in Finland and a lot of logistics providers that gave me like the smooth operations to tell them that can I sell for you. So I have they have my back, and I'm being so grateful for them.
Nice, so of course you haven't started on the thin ground, I would say. Yeah, so this helps, and of course it's fantastic that you are only in 4.5 months in the business at the moment, and you are already having shipments moving, because I know that especially in the USA part, if someone starts a freight forwarding business or freight brokerage business, sometimes they need to wait for customers for many months. So congrats here, you're doing a great job, so, and a fantastic job, Anthony. So and other thing which I would like to touch, so freight forwarding, you're saying that it's quite challenging to scale, and of course it's really challenging, for because basically you are taking some extra, yeah, margin for a service that is, some believe, great value, other don't believe, other work directly with trucking companies and believe this is the way out. So what your value propositions, when usually I think this would be interesting for our audience as well, for those sales reps, because if you are just saying, hello, I'm Anthony from FLG, yeah, and I have some trucks and let's do business together. Usually this doesn't cut, yeah. So what I'm curious, what are you using on your end here, yeah? So what value propositions do you bring on the table?
Yeah, so when we're talking about like the value proposition, so at first I was like anything everywhere, and I wanted to be like one of the big players in the industry and just offer the same value proposition, like you can get anything anywhere. And that it doesn't work. So it's really hard to go forward. So then we pivoted, because my vision is building like the world's most sustainable logistics company. And so we pivoted a lot of times. So you need a perspective, you need a certain angle for certain customers. So the value proposition for generally in our customers is a control tower and one point of contact. So the customer gets one contact, that's the representative, and they're almost they're like they're excited to work for the customer. They they check all the available options. They check the customer's needs. You can reach them via WhatsApp, Viber, email. You can even do an order with us in LinkedIn. So we're easy to approach. And after that, we're determined to get a solution, because the value proposition, if it doesn't have a solution, we're just like bidding uh, price and price like next to each other. We're most likely not going to win as a fresh company. Certain lanes, maybe, but generally no. So we brought other aspects to it also. So the customer gets always their emission calculations, and some of the big companies have said that we're the first ones to even give them. So we calculated them immediately after the shipment and sent it to the customers. Uh, we also, the angles are for large customers, and middle-sized is that we can do anything everywhere, but we understand that you have the volume contracts. We understand that the logistics companies are taking damages when having you large girls and boys as customers. But if they have a ad hoc, like they need a tow truck or equipment to lift a shipment, or they need fast delivery, or they're thinking about trying sustainable deliveries. So a case example would be like we're starting in summer this lane that we're operating with biogas from A to B once a week. So we do these kind of solution-based results with large customers. Then with the smaller customers, uh, it's that they get better service. We're easy to approach. You don't need to wait in a call center, so you can reach us immediately. And then we have also for the smaller customers pretty good prices because the smaller customers make the profit for the for the biggest service providers. So we can there compete even with the prices.
Nice. So as I understand, flexibility, service levels, different kinds of service levels, and of course, sustainability has become a really important part, especially in Finland. Yeah. So nice. So I know they have a big background with sustainable solutions. So I think here you can be truly give some true value for shippers. Yeah, and then advice, not only calculations, but advice how to save those emissions. Yeah.
Mhm. So
Good.
at some point, like with the sustainability, I need to say that we're getting to calculations. We're using uh, renewable biogas, like liquid biogas, so we can even make the lanes more cheaper than with traditional diesel. So there are some advantages, but you need to like really calculate it true.
Nice. And you also mentioned, I know that you do a lot of marketing. You're super active on LinkedIn. Of course, you have your own blog and your podcast. And so, does this help? With getting
Enor-
more customers? Yeah.
Enormously. So um, most often when I call someone, and even if I don't know them, they know me already. So that makes the conversation a lot more easier, and it takes the sales cycle shorter. And that's been a huge benefit for all sales I've done before. So it's a professional channel, and there's not many people, especially in Finland, around logistics in it to it. So I think it's been really advantage, especially LinkedIn. Then when we go to the blogs, you don't see, or I don't know any Finnish blogger that's doing similar things that I am, like abroad and in Finland. Then then I also started just for pure fun the newsletter for our own audience. We got a little over 400 subscribers. It's a bi-weekly uh, newsletter, and that's something that's been like people have started conversations with me with a topic in the newsletter. So it like it helps. It really helps like with the conversations.
Yeah. So this is so true because, and I still see a lot of, you know, companies and even companies and individual sales reps who are still neglecting LinkedIn as a channel, because as you said, you know it opens many more doors than it you could open with just plain cold calls, yeah, or just even good company names. If you're working for a big brand, and you're calling someone, we are still someone working at the big brand, so it's you're merely nothing, yeah, for the shipper. So as I understand, you would recommend, so for everyone who is just starting in this business or opening a business or doing sales, to do this channel, yeah, and put more effort in there, as this opens many doors, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with sales, like nobody's probably gonna buy from me the first time I call them, not even the second time, maybe the 10th time they'll give me a chance. So you need to be constantly, like every second month, you need to be in contact with the customer in some way. But it doesn't need to be a cold call or a call. It can be an email, it can be a LinkedIn post. It just needs to be a connection. And then when you need to get to know a lot of people in the company to be your like heroes and champions to help you with the offer. So LinkedIn and these kind of marketing activities, they really help me, like also uh, minimum time spent, but maximum effort or result achieved. Because you can talk to 5 different persons in a company, like with one LinkedIn post.
Yeah. So have you tried to calculate the ROI, because of course it's hard, you're doing this on your own, but basically it's still, have you ever thought, okay, so if I wouldn't do, any marketing part, so then maybe the sales cycles were, I don't know, maybe 4 times longer, or have you done that, or you just, you have the gut feeling here.
Yeah, with the gut feeling, I remember starting. I made all these crazy, well, really great calculations, how to value my time, how to measure everything. But now that I've looked at my statistics, I would say that probably around 90% of the results are based on the activities that I do. So cold calling people, it, it generates like the least amount of revenue. So I would probably be in the situation that I maybe have one shipment a week or a month if I wouldn't do the social media so actively. So because now I do maybe 10 cold calls a day, 50 a week. There might be better days, but I want to just go more and more into social media.
And of course, the network is growing there as well. So when you are just calling, and when you do even do a message, LinkedIn message, and someone read your post or read your article, it's much easier. I don't know. I have calculated this, so I would say that without any marketing activities, getting a meeting with the decision maker, it's even one meeting with the decision maker. It's quite a tough cookie, if no one knows you. And of course, if you do start doing this marketing thing, and you do social media, other parts, then those 10 meetings a day, if I'm doing sales, so I can arrange 10 meetings in one day, just messaging. So it's easy, it's easier. And talking with, as I do sales training and talking with sales reps and around the world, I know that even one meeting per day for some is a huge challenge. But I'm talking about meeting, not just hello, do you have something for me today? So
Mhm.
this is completely thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like inside sales rep also like 7, 8 years ago, and it was it like 30 calls a day, and the goals were to get 2 meetings, and you were like great for that day. My record was like 10, but the quality of those meetings were not like great. So,
Yeah.
so, and with LinkedIn, it's totally changed, and it's, I'm really shy. People don't know it, but it lowers the barrier to do even more sales.
Yeah, this is so true, because if you are having problems of calling, and if then yeah, LinkedIn is one of the best tools here around. You can just do messaging, without anyone, you know, without bothering, what do they think about you? Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. So, Anthony, if someone, would ask you, would you, yeah, I think now, let's say, would you start the freight forwarding business, or maybe you would look for other, maybe business ideas, and I think many of us, of the audience watching, have the same question. I know myself, when I was working at a trading manufacturing organization, I thought, okay, I will open my own brokerage, but somehow I went to consulting and training and marketing. So I don't know, but so would you do this again, or maybe there are more lucrative options out there?
Mm. There's most likely like definitely lucrative options, but would I do this? I would have just said to myself, let's start earlier to do it. If I knew how well it would have started, I should have started a long time ago. For the part of entrepreneurship, I think that people think that they need to hit the home run to start. They need to like build a unicorn company to start. Just be familiar with something that you just like to talk with random people. And I think that's a good base to try out the business and like start operating. Because before I started, I contacted a lot of like people that have made already like even hundreds of millions in the industry. And they all said just best thing is just take the risk and believe in yourself. And yeah,
You will do this again. So right, nice. When you are afraid, you're always afraid. And even if you will leave someday, you will still start feeling boring, and you will need to come back. Yeah. So
I I think the greatest it's a bit of cliche, but I don't want to feel no regrets. So and I don't think people should either. So just do what you like, give it your all. You won't be you'll be probably sad that if it fails, but you won't be sad that you tried. I think that you'll always land on your feet.
yeah, good advice. Good advice. So Anthony, and for someone who is just watching and thinking about starting, what advice could you give to someone wanted to open a trade brokerage business? And
Just
not to make any mistakes, maybe some pitfalls to avoid. I think you had some, yeah. So
uh,
we all do when we start the business.
yeah. So basically, the what I would change for myself is like probably try to think about what you want to do for the freight brokerage about. Uh, but that's a tough
You're saying
question.
finding the niche, yeah, finding the niche. Maybe if you
I'm
want to be
finding the
sustainable.
niche, but it's more like where do you come from when you start the freight brokerage? So if you come out of nowhere and you have nothing in the industry, I'd probably find the most reliable trucking service that I could work for, ask what kind of lanes they need, what kind of material they need. Then I'd probably make 50 calls a day for like a year, just grind it out and just be at the trucking company's office working for them and getting to know them. And I just like focus on a certain area in a certain company because if it's great and reliable company and they have traction, uh, then there's something maybe wrong with sales, not the service or product you're selling. That's most likely what I do if I come out from nothing. Uh, and the pitfalls that I have is like, oh, I wish I'd have a partner here. So we're now working with entrepreneur like freelance contractors, and I'm the only owner and worker in the company. So I wish that I have a partner that I could just, talk about the tactics, the strategy, go through the vision, somebody to talk with. So that's most likely something that I'm still looking for, a partner. And what else? Maybe the administrative part of the company that takes a lot of work. So try to focus on creating those blocks that you really just sell, sell, sell. And you don't need to have a lot of measurements. I think I'd go first just the opportunities that you're allowed to bid and what your what you're charging, like how much you're invoicing, and why your customers giving you quotes, why are they like, why are you getting to invoice, why are they not going through with your company? But every day I learn something new.
Nice. So if someone listening to this podcast, is looking for a partner, so and you have experience with freight forwarding, so Anthony is here, so and you're based in Finland, maybe not in Finland, of course, but of course it's a bit better to have someone from Finland, yeah.
But like I said, if we're building a global company, the next steps is eventually in the near future to get partners from abroad. But then you need to like bring something into the table as well. So I'm open to discussions, and we are now moving freight from China. We're moving inside Europe, so open to all conversations.
Nice. So, if someone reading this, listening to this, or reading or watching, Anthony is here. Okay. So, Anthony, time flies. Thank you very much. We touched a lot. You provided a lot of great insights, So, what I would add something, if from my side, for those who are starting logistics businesses, freight forwarding business, you need to understand that this is all about sales. It's not about operations, but sales, sales, sales. So, do the sales from the first day, ring the phones, do the marketing activities, because in such way this will help you to get the momentum faster, so and Anthony is the proof, or that this is really possible, building traction with marketing, and having knowledge in the market is really faster. So thank you, Anthony. You can read more about Anthony's business below. I will leave the link there. So if you need some quality services out of Finland or out in other parts of the world, so he is the guy. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Thomas.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, and see you to all of those who are listening to us. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And see you in the upcoming episodes. Bye bye.